You're fine. I'm gonna start the process of this all going. Yeah, and there it goes.
Send you with a Y or an IE?
IE. I see a window.
Yep, he had to go get his dog now, or stop his dog from barking or something.
I went and got this.
Ah, I have mine too.
Oh, are we showing my game? Here, look, there you go. That actually just happened to be on the table. I didn't plan that, so.
Nope. Mine was sitting right over here on the computer desk anyway, because we were gonna play tonight, and then the kids were assholes, and so they didn't get to play.
Oh.
I hate it when that happens.
I was a little pissed because I was really looking forward to playing this again after we played it earlier this week. So, John and I broke your rules though.
Why?
We played with 2 people instead of 3. It still worked.
Uh-oh. Yeah? Yeah, it's just very quick.
Yeah.
It's so here's the thing. You can do it. The problem is you're gonna go, who am I gonna get? Let me see.
Yeah.
Oh, it's you. So.
Yeah, we didn't really didn't do the whole targeting cards. It was really just nope. This is on me. This is on you.
And let's be honest, end of every game ends in 2 people usually,
right.
But it's usually like one hand because everyone's so beat up.
Right. All right, so we are good to go. You guys ready to start this?
Sure.
Okay.
Let's do this thing.
All right, we're gonna start in 3, 2, 1. Welcome everybody to Geekvice episode 183, proving any vice with enough geek can become a virtue. My name's Morph, that man's Kip. Good evening, Kip.
Good evening.
We also have a special guest with us today. We've got Bill Sininger. He is one half of the brain that runs Prolific Games. You can thank him for some of the awesome board games like Flapjacks and Sasquatch, Tricked Out Hero, Pack Wars, among others, and most recently, Prolific Games have created Witch Slapped.
Sorry. There we go.
There you go. A fast-paced set-collecting card game that also has you slinging spells at other witches at the table. How are you doing this evening, Bill?
I am doing wonderful.
Was that a
busy.
Was
that my wife on my what I had to do for the world? I'd be in trouble.
Yeah, I can understand that. So was that a good description of Witch Slapped?
That was perfect. That was perfect. The really quick description of it is, if you've ever played Spoons, it's Spoons on crack because you're just going nonstop and everything.
See, that was the game. I was trying to describe it to somebody else at work, and I was like, it's kind of like, the only thing that could pop in my head was Slapjack, and it's like, it's kind of like Slapjack, but not really like Slapjack. Spoons, that was the game I couldn't think of. Like, that's the game I wanted to say it was like. That's a perfect little description for it.
It's like Spoons in the sense that you pass cards.
Yeah.
You're pretty much done with it. So
well, and you got to slap you're slapping that card out in the middle like you're trying to grab a spoon. So
you actually have to be aware of what you're doing, because I when I demo this game, when I explain it to people, I tell everyone, look, when it's time to slap, you only want to slap the number of what you have as a set or lower than that. Like if you only have 3 of a kind, you want to slap the 4, because then you take damage. If you have 2 of a kind, you want to slap the 3. And I look at everyone in the face right then. I go, look, someone's going to slap a number they don't have and take damage. They all go, yeah, okay, and then sure enough, oh. And when they do it, I go, you know how I knew that? And they're like, how? Because John, my business partner, and I, we have both killed ourselves by hitting the wrong card because you get so excited to slap something. Everyone else is doing it.
Well, and when John and I were playing this game, or when Kip and I were playing this game, I don't did I think I lost, but I think I lost only because he
Because I'm
slapped.
better.
Yeah, well, because he's better than me, and because he would always like slap the card. He'd always slap first. He'd always get his set first, and so it left me with, well, I don't have three of a kind, like, so I'm gonna take damage.
Yep.
And one time I was dealt three of a kind, so I just went ahead and slapped the 3 card, knowing there's no way in hell he had 4, and he had to take a lot of damage.
Yeah,
The nice thing is when I demo, like I'll go slow at first. Like I'll kind of like, if I'm the dealer, I'll look at it, pass, look at it, pass, look at it, pass. And after like 3 hands, I'm like, okay, are we good? We all know what we're doing. They're like, yeah. Then I'm like, and they're like, what? Like, guys, you're just looking for color. Trust me. Like you guys
Yeah.
are thinking way too hard. Go fast.
I do have a question since we have you on here.
Sure thing.
If you're the dealer,
Yep.
do you always just pull from the deck, or do you get the card from the person passing to you?
So here's my explanation when I tell people. If you're the dealer, you got to go through the deck first, because if you just take the one to the right of you that's coming from them, you guys are going to pass the same 4 cards around the table the whole time. And everyone's going to be like, I still don't want that one card.
Yeah.
Yep, you have to get through your deck before you can touch the ones that they're putting on the pile. And honestly, if you're going super fast, you'll find that set before you ever get to the stuff over here. So
yeah, that's what we ran into too, and that's what we tried at first, where we were looking at the card that was passed to us instead of pulling from the deck, and yeah, we got to the point where it's like, I think we're just passing the same cards back and forth.
Right,
Like,
you are, because you don't want it this time either.
yeah.
I don't need the green card. I don't need one.
Right.
Can somebody just get rid of the green card? Yeah.
Exactly.
But
Yep, I heard you're going to Gen Con this year.
What's that?
I hear you're going to Gen Con this year.
I am. I'm pretty pumped about it.
That's awesome.
You guys are there, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Do you know where you're going to be at?
Like booth number?
Yeah. Are you in the general area, or?
Yeah, booth number will be 1401. That's our
1401.
booth. It's like in amongst all the big names. We kind of lucked out that years ago we started going with a game store from Minnesota that goes to all these huge conventions and has booths. And so we'll be there, like kind of in the center of it. Usually, smaller companies kind of get put in the back corner because you have to like earn credits, kind of like year after year to get better booth spots. But since we kind of worked it out that way, that we went with these guys for so long, that we're just kind of there in the middle of everything. So it works out well.
So you are in the big vendor hall then?
Oh yeah.
Sweet. Yeah, because the year I met you guys, you were in that like general gaming area, and I burned all my generic tickets playing at your guys' booth. So
Yeah, we're not actually. So in the last few years, we have our booth in the big hall, and then we had some of our friends demoing games, like kind of out in the game hall. This year we don't have anyone demoing out in the game hall. We're just doing the booth, and that's it. Because we kind of paid for everything ourselves this year, so we just wanted to really focus on kind of bringing the booth everything we can. So
are you going to be demoing anything new that we haven't seen yet?
Witch Slap is still. This is the first time Witch Slap's been at Gen Con.
Okay.
So this is what we're doing. However, for you, my friend, if you're interested after the dealer hall closes, we're going to be playtesting some new games.
Oh, sweet. Sign me up. I'll be there.
That's all it takes to get Kip excited. Just tell him you got some new
every
games.
one of you guys' games, and it's not because we have you on the podcast. I really do like them all. So if I can jump in on something new, I'm there.
Right. So yeah, we got 3 that we're working on. We're also one of the nights, 1 or 2 of the nights, I don't know which. We'll be doing some RPG if you want in.
I suck at RPG, so just forewarning, I do not role play ROLL or ROLE. I role play ROLL. So
That's okay. We don't care.
Bill's gonna make fun of you either way, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, well, I'll give you plenty of reasons to make fun of me if I play an RPG.
Well, here's the thing. Last time we went to Gen Con, I had the same basic group going with me. We were role playing. I said, "Hey guys, we're gonna play Savage Worlds. Okay, that's the system." I said, "We're gonna play Firefly. So you guys just make a crew of a ship, and that'll be great." And they're like, "Oh, cool." So on the way out there, they're all making their characters, and it's so funny too because we had two people that had never role played before, like ever, right? And so one of them had kind of, and his wife had not at all. And so they're all like, "Well, I'm going to be the doctor. I'm going to be this. I'm going to be this." And they all get it. And it gets to her, and she goes, "What's left?" And they all look at her and go, "Captain." And she's like, "What?" So she gets made the captain, right? So then we start this out with, they're in the middle of a deal. So they had two cargoes. One was going to kind of the main government, right? And one was going to this black market dealer, right? One was tons of batteries, like for cells for something important and whatnot that only the government should have, blah, blah, blah. The other one is a bunch of alcohol going to these black market traders, right? Well, at the start of it, I rolled a die to see who screws up this shipment, and they got to tell me why. And I got John, my business partner, and he's playing the cook who's an alcoholic, right?
Nice.
So I drank all the alcohol, but figuring we can't give these black market people that'll kill us anything bad, I switched the cargo from the one into the cargo of the other. So I started the whole scene as she's there with like the first mate and another person, and they're handing the chest to the black market person, and they're like, "So we agreed upon this," and they open it up and they look in, and of course they see his batteries, and they're like, "Well, how much do you want for these?" And the girl playing the captain was like, "Well, what we agreed on." And they're like, "Seriously, for this?" Yeah, but she'd never role played, so she never thought to say, "Well, I go look and see what it is," right? She's like, "No, I just want the money." And like, "Okay, here you go." And they leave, and everyone else is like, "Oh my god, I can't believe she didn't look inside." Like what's going on? Like we could have figured it out. So they leave, and the government ships, start coming after them, and they get wounded, and they have to land on a planet. So when they land on the planet, it's in the Firefly, some of the backstory, there's a one planet where it's kind of like a ship graveyard, right? That the government kind of has, and it's just basically a bunch of ships there, and then there's a base that kind of watches over it, right? And they land, and they're trying to get a hold of the people, and they had a contact there that maybe they could get a part from. Can't get a hold of them. So they split up, and one group's going to the base, and the other group's kind of staying back at the ship. And I timed it out perfectly, so both groups found out that it was really an alien game. So, and they were like, "What? You said this was Firefly." I was like, "Well, it's Firefly with aliens." I mean, and they were all pissed.
That's awesome. That is awesome. So you're going to Gen Con. But you've been at, what have you had this year? Like 10, 15 different conventions you've been at? Every post and every Twitter thing I see from Prolific Games is we're at another convention.
We do a lot. So we did Con of the North, which is the one in Minnesota here that does really well for us. Then we went to Gary Con, which is the one in Wisconsin with all the old TSR people that started D&D.
Right.
Then we went to one of the distributor events. Alliance and Aladdin, all those guys have days where you go and you demo all your stuff for people that own stores. So we went to one of those. And then we just did Origins here at the beginning of the summer, and now we're doing Gen Con. And then in November, I think we got Gamehole Con in Wisconsin. So, yeah, busy.
I was say, in previous years, have you done San Diego?
We did. We have. We didn't do it this year because, anyone who wants to go to San Diego, you should go and experience it. That's great. If you're trying to work San Diego, it sucks. It's super, the dealer hall opens at 8 and stays open till 8. So you're there for 12 hours.
Right.
people only want to see celebrities, right?
Yeah.
They don't care about like some game, right? So they're like, you're trying to. So when you go to Origin, when you go to Gen Con, when you go to any of these other game cons, people are there to game.
Right.
They're not at San Diego to game. They're at San Diego to see Hugh Jackman or whoever from whatever movie, right?
Right.
So it just kind of got old. I mean, it's like we're out there. When we go out there, we're out there for like almost a week and a half. You know, like it's a big cut out of our family time, and we don't make enough money where we're like, oh, we have to go there.
Yeah.
I mean, it was great seeing it, but after the first year, I was kind of like, okay, that was cool. Now, maybe if you're going just to go, it'd be better. But
Right.
my best experience last year. So we're demoing games, and I started right out in the morning. Like first person that walked up was like, "Yeah, I'll demo," and I'm just demoing away, right? And as soon as they would leave, like the next person would step in. It's just one after another, right? For like the first, maybe 4 hours of the day. And about an hour in, I was like, God, I gotta pee. And I just keep going, right? Just demoing. At the 4 hour mark, I'm like, okay, I can't hold this anymore, right? There's another group coming up, like, John, you got to demo. I'm done. I got to go use the restroom. So he starts demoing. I walk away, and I'm walking like super fast walk, right? You know,
Yeah.
like I run, but I'm gonna get there, and I get to the wall. It comes down here, and then there's a corner, and the bathrooms are right around the corner, right? But it's also where the loading docks kind of are, right? There's a big door there, and I'm coming down here, and as I get to the corner to turn to go in, like, and then turn again into the bathroom, I get to the corner, and this guy with a headset comes on and goes, like, puts his arms on. He's like, wait, oh, stop. I'm like, well, I just need to go to the. Nope, no one can get by. I'm like, but I really just need to go to the. And all the cast of Walking Dead walk in, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, you got to sit back. I was like, dude, I don't care about the Walking Dead. I need to use the bathroom. Like, who these people are. He's like, nope. I'm like, and all these people behind me all of a sudden start like crashing in, like trying to take pictures and stuff. I'm at the front of the line, like, I don't care. Like, yeah, it's a cool show, but whatever, man. Come on.
It's like, my bladder says, fuck you.
He's by and he turns and this like whole crew of people start following them, like blocking people off. And I was like, oh, thank God. And I get around the corner and go in. And all I could think was, man, 10 more minutes, I'd been like, dude, you let me through or I pee on you. I don't care which. You can kick me out of Comic-Con forever, but this is going to happen.
Oh, that's awesome. It's Kirkman's fault.
The best part was I have another teacher I work with that really likes Walking Dead. And I told her that story, and she's like, you didn't get a picture for me? I was like, are you kidding me? Like, I'm like,
Just too worried about you. That's funny. That is funny. Oh, yeah, blame Kirkman for all that. It's Robert Kirkman's fault.
Yep, blame him for my bladder almost exploding.
So,
I honestly
all right.
thought you were going to tell me the line was like 7 miles long.
Oh, yeah.
No.
I had to wait for 4 hours just to get into the bathroom.
There's no bathrooms in there. That's not a problem. But, like, that was the closest one to me, and I knew it, so that's why I went there.
Right.
But by the time I got there, now it's like, oh, the next one's way down there.
Jeez. So Gen Con's coming up. When are we going to get you down here in Kansas City for a convention? You going to come down here for Kansas City? What is it? Kansas City Con or Planet Comic Con? Or we could split the difference and you can go to Omaha next year for Comic Con.
Comic Con?
Yeah.
I don't know. We'd have to look at how much everything costs to get there and do all that stuff. And
I understand.
Money.
Yeah. I understand. Well, if you decide to come down here, though, then we will definitely have to we'll have to hook up and I'll buy you a beer. How about that?
There you go. How come you're not going to Gen Con? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, good question, Bill.
You can get the media badge probably.
You know, I never really looked into getting a media badge. I might have to do that for next year. The biggest problem with Gen Con is when it falls right in the middle of soccer season, which, you know, I feel kind of the same way, John, your partner there, can't miss his daughter's softball games.
You see his Facebook posts, huh?
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
a few of them.
I know more about Minnesota softball than I ever wanted to know.
So do I. So do I.
Yeah. So it's kind of one of those things, you know. It's like I once my kids get a little bit older and I don't feel like I'm abandoning one, my wife for that long, and
Right.
two, my kids aren't going to be pissed that I'm missing their games. Then I'm going to try to do a little bit more traveling with some conventions and stuff like that. But we have. The funny thing is, we actually have our neighbors across the street that we go on vacation with quite a bit. She's from Minnesota. She lived up northern Minnesota for a while, and went to. I think she went to high school up there. But she's always talked about needing to get back up there and visit some people. And since we go on vacation with them for usually a couple times a year, we're like, well, I guess if you guys go up to Minnesota, like, we should go up to Minnesota too. And I'm like, yeah, we should go to Minnesota, and then I'll just hit up Bill and John, and I'll meet up those guys and actually shake their hand, because I've talked to you a ton on this and never actually shook your hand. So yeah,
I'm sure they're out of town that day.
Right.
They'll probably be in a convention.
Hey, we're coming to Minnesota. Oh no, I'm gone.
Wait.
Kansas City. What?
No, no. I mean, I'm coming the next weekend. No, I'm gone then too.
Yeah, that one's busy.
Yeah. No.
I'm
John's got
Minnesota.
softball.
I didn't tell you when. Oh,
Yeah, that's the way it would go. So I gotta ask you, how is Witch Slap doing after the Kickstarter and everything like that? I mean, I know Kip and I both have gotten our games. We've played it, really loved it. You getting a lot of good feedback from it?
well, yeah. So we Father Geek approved it, right? So
Right.
Father Geek is a reviewer who reviews it in 3 different categories. He reviews it for like kid geeks, parent geeks, and then hardcore gamers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we almost always nail the kid and the parent, right? Like,
Right.
because our games are geared for that, right?
Yeah.
We never get the gamer geek usually, and that's what you need for like the Father Geek approved. But he, like, the kids loved it, the parents loved it, and the gamer geeks were like, man, like, you think it's just like we're just going fast and whatnot? They're like, but you're like, okay, I need to go for this time because it'll help me here, and so they loved it. They're like, this is a perfect filler game. Like, you can play this at the beginning of the night, end of the night. Like, it's super fast. 15, 20 minutes, and you can play again if you want. We've taken it to Origins. We did really well at Origins. We didn't have it for GaryCon when we did GaryCon, but we did pre-orders because we had our copy of it. Like, they sent us one to review and stuff, or to make sure like all the stuff's right.
Right.
And so we were putting it there, and people were like, "Oh, how do I get it?" And we're like, "Well, you can pre-order it, and we'll send it to you at the same time we send our Kickstarter stuff." And we got a bunch of people that did that just off of playing it once. So
That's awesome.
and our first month in retail was really good. The key is to see if the second month is as good, right? Because the first month, people are like, "Oh, well, we'll try this." If the second month is good, that means they reordered, right? Like,
Right.
or they sold enough, the distributor sold enough that they'll be like, "Oh, well, let's get more of this."
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so
Well,
we'll see how that second month goes.
Yeah, that was, when Kip and I played, Kip even made the comment. He's like, "Oh, I kind of thought there was going to be more kid game." And I mean, I backed it because I was like, "Oh, this is going to be a perfect game to play with my kids." And then when him and I played it, we're like, "Damn, we could play this with just about anybody. This isn't just a kids game. Like, this has got some depth to it, and it's only as deep as you want it to be, which is kind of the cool part. Like, you can play it just super fast, not really paying any attention to what you're doing, but you throw a little extra, like, no, I really need the fire, I need the red one so I can torch that guy, or, oh, I really need counter this time because if I don't, I know he's gonna get that and I'm screwed. It's, of course, that also ends up coming to bite you in the ass if you try to get something specific. But
The other nice thing about it is because there's 2 sets of spells, right? There's 2 of each color. There's like I want to say it's like 516 or something like that combinations of decks you can have.
Yeah.
And once you play it a bunch, you start realizing what you like to play. Like John and I love Confusion. It's like our favorite spell to put in there. It's the green one. Like there's Potion and Confusion. Or no, not Confusion. Is it Confusion? It is. The other green one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Confusion.
I don't know. Who designed this game?
Chaos.
He should know.
Chaos.
Chaos.
Chaos. Yeah. Who designed it? Me. Chaos. Because when you target someone on their next turn, and sometimes you can target two people at that, on their next turn, they choose theirs at random. And so if you're playing with 6 people, you hit someone with it, and then they just lay their targeting witches down, and you go, oh, you're going to hit that person, right? And then you slide that one out, and they put the rest away, and when they flip it over, and they go, I just hit myself. It's the most amazing thing in the world.
Yeah. Yeah. I
We
can.
have one friend who always, when she does it, she'll cast on someone, then she'll choose it, and the one she chooses is always herself. Like she'll be like, "Dang it! Why did I make you target me?" So,
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, no, I love the fact, and I'm glad that you kind of made the funding the stretch goals to get all these other extra cards to it, because I think
we
that's
actually
freaking
only
awesome.
funded, I think, 2 or 3 of them, but we were like, man, if we're gonna put 2 or 3, like that'd be horrible to have like, oh, well, these 3 have another one, but these don't. You know, we were like, you know,
yeah.
just gonna do it. Screw it. Like we didn't hit the fun part, but we were like, you know what? It makes the game perfect. Like we could have just been like, hey, we'll just do the original deck and that's it. But I think having those extra spells, like it really, like I said, because there are some where some people don't like this spell, but they like the other spell, and then like some people don't like fire because it's just so much damage, and they prefer power. But other people like fire because it's like, man, you never know. And when fire's in the game, there are a lot of people holding fire. So you never actually get the fire.
Right?
Like, where's that fire I need? And then someone else is going for something completely different. It's like, doot, slap. And everyone else is like, oh, I had 2.
Yeah.
I had 2 fire, you had 2 fire, you had 2 fire, you had 2 fire.
Right.
And
So
I
people
had
definitely-
3 revenge.
Yeah, people
Exactly.
definitely.
This game works perfect for the group of guys that we tend to game with, and they love. It's one of those groups where we start off with flapjacks and Sasquatches, and then we never get on to anything else because we like that take that aspect. And this one just has enough take that I think it would work well. I'm almost getting ready to call this kind of a party game, because if you get the right people playing this game, I think it would be a riot. And with our group, I think it would be one of those where your sides are going to hurt after a while, because it would just be a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to playing with the max number.
Yeah. No, it's a blast. I played it this weekend. We actually had a family get together, and I brought it with. And my cousin was up from Arizona, and his wife's actually from England. Like, we had never met. He just got married like less than a year ago. And so she was like, you know, I heard you design games. I was hoping to play one. So we played Witch Lab. And it was my 2 daughters, me, my cousin, his wife, and one of my other cousins. And he could not slap anything to save his life. Like, he was on everything. Like, he'd be like, slap. And he'd be like, oh, darn. Like my 17 and 13-year-old were just like, you know, like just trounced. He's like, okay, so I'm pretty sure this is a good game, but I really suck at it.
Yes,
like,
you do.
He's getting to the point where he's like, I gotta slap something, and he goes stop, and he goes slap, and he looks and he goes, oh, I don't have 4. He took 4 damage, and then he was out that round. So
that's funny.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
So, another question on this thing: is there a possibility that you could play with more than 6 people if you just threw in some of the extra cards?
You could. The problem with that is those, like, when you're going really fast, you're really just looking at color.
Yeah.
And so if you're just grabbing orange, but it's the wrong orange, that could be really tough.
Good point.
Did you guys get any of the add-ons, like the extra witches?
I didn't get the extra witches. Did you, Kip?
I don't remember. I know I got the spinners.
Okay, you probably got the witches then. Maybe you didn't. Well, we probably have extra. We'll get you some. You could actually though break up into 2 tables if you have those extra witches, because they can use those as their targeting witches, and you can use the real ones. You'd have to keep. Well, you have the spinner, so you can keep track of life that way too. So
Right.
you could have 2 tables going at the same time.
Gotcha.
So,
Gotcha.
you know, so I mean, there's enough in there that you could play 12 people. Just you wouldn't want. I don't know whether you want to play them together. It would be.
Yeah, I didn't think of them having being the same color, like duplicating the colors. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that's
there is a symbol, but really, if you're going that fast, those symbols
you're
are
just
hard
looking at the color.
Yeah,
That's all I paid attention to.
right.
I catch myself though. I do have this problem, and I have this problem with everything. Every card game that I play, I tend to like reading the cards, especially when there's funny things on them. And I know there's nothing funny here, but Flapjacks and Sasquatches has funny things on every card. And so I pick up this game, and I'm starting to flip the the first time we played it. I have it up in my hand, and I'm going, stop reading, stupid. These don't say funny things. These tell you to attack people. I don't care about that right now. Just get colors, damn it. Just go.
Well, if you really want to look at them, though, the spells, we made sure that we actually had names for all the level of the spell.
Yes.
So if you look down here, like there are. So this is ritual, and you have like invigorate, channel, strength, and power. Like I spent a lot of time naming those freaking things. So if you want to appreciate that, you can.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of Bedlam. That's the level 5 chaos.
So
Mayhem.
So,
Well, and
and some of the spell effect cards, like the flying monkeys and
oh yeah,
the shadow spirit and stuff, that art is really cool and kind of funny at times. But yeah, like I went through and named every spell, and when I was doing it, John was like, "Do you really need to name them all?" I said, "I don't, but I like the flavor of it, so damn it, I'm going to do it." And I was like, "Oh man, I'm struggling." Like some of these, like I've used every thesaurus, every dictionary, like everything I can to come up with something for some of these. And he's like, "Well, you did it. Now you got to finish it."
You can't stop halfway. Oh, that's funny. That is funny. Well, another shout out for you is today. So for the last probably month, we've just been swamped. Our weekends have been filled with something. Either we've been out of town or they've just been filled with stuff. And even yesterday we had a whole bunch of stuff going on. And so today was our first day where we didn't have a bunch of stuff going on. And so we got up this morning, the kids got up this morning, and we started just playing board games. And we played we played some Formula D this morning, and we played something else. And then, like, I needed to get some other stuff done. And so I'm like, okay, I can't play any more games right now. You guys go play, and I'll come get you when I'm done, and then we can play some more games. So you know what they went and did? They went and pulled up Flapjacks and Sasquatches. My 8-year-old and my 5-year-old. My 5-year-old can't read yet, so he has no idea what he's doing. But it was just they were just going through the cards and laughing at the pictures that were on there and everything like that. It was like, okay, so now we're gonna have to sit down and play Flapjacks and Sasquatches. So I got my stuff done, played some Flapjacks. I was like, oh. That's why I told them, I'm like, all right, well, later this evening before we go to bed, we'll play Witch Slapped. And I think they were excited for it, and then they decided that they wanted to be assholes. Like, you guys miss out. We'll have to play tomorrow. So it's guys' night tomorrow, so we'll get to play tomorrow night.
I'm a little proud of you. When you started this podcast, you weren't this big of a gamer.
I was. I just didn't own that many, and I still don't actually.
He still doesn't. He just has a lot of my games at his house.
Formula D that we played this morning. That's Kip's.
Those are the best games. Other people's games are the best because you don't have to pay for them.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. Now I've got a few. I've got a few that I play, and I will say that I've turned the kids into massive board gamers. So much so that this afternoon when they were playing outside for a while, and then they got hot and they wanted to come inside, and I'm like, yeah, that's fine, you guys can come inside, but we're not playing video games. Like,
Right.
so you can find something else to do. And they went up and got board games and started playing. Like, grabbed one of the neighbor kids who doesn't play really any board games, grabbed him, and they started playing board games. I have no idea what they were playing, but
Right.
they were playing board games. So
Well, tell Bill about your Father's Day card.
oh, yes. Oh, I wish I had that. I think it's upstairs in my room. But so the big thing in this house is for Father's Day, anytime there needs to be a birthday card or Father's Day card or any kind of card made, you can't buy them from the store. The kids have to make one.
Right.
And my Father's Day card was, I can't remember the exact words, but it was something along the lines of, "You're a great dad because you borrow games from John that we like to play."
So by association, I'm a good dad. So there you go.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's really me being good or Kip being good, but
That's awesome.
either way, we play a lot of games, and it's kind of funny now. We're talking about the awesomeness of board games. We've been playing a lot of. My youngest son is going into kindergarten. He'll be going into kindergarten this fall, and his favorite game right now is Mice and Mystics.
Yeah.
And we've played it so much now that he can do his addition up to fives, basically 5, 6, without
Right.
counting, without just looking at the numbers.
Nice.
I rolled 2, I've got 2 movement, that's 4. He could just rattling it off like that, and he's 5 years old. So
Nice.
it's just kind of a good sign. And that's all contributed to. That's all from board games. That's just from
Yeah. For sure.
rolling
Yeah,
dice and.
I'll tell you right now. So growing up, my dad taught me cribbage, chess. I played a lot of Risk with my friends. And then when I got into D&D, and I was probably, so I got in way early. Like I was like 10 or 11. And it's funny because my parents had these friends. Their son had a game called Dungeon, which is just a board game that you're moving. It's roll and move kind of, and you kill monsters and treasure, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, man, that game's awesome. Every time we went over there, I played it, right? And these were friends like they grew up with, so we'd see them maybe once a month or something, or not someone we lived right next to. And so one Christmas, my mom was like, hey, what do you want for Christmas? I was like, I want Dungeon. Like, that game's awesome. If I could have that game, that'd be amazing. Mom goes out, get my present. I open it up. I'm like, what is this? She got me Dungeons and Dragons. Right? I was like, this isn't the same game. And I open it up and it's these books, and I'm like, what the books? I got So the 11-year-old me has no, or 10-year-old me has no clue how to play this game. My friends and I are looking through it, and we're like, if I was going to use a weapon, I'd use that because look, it does more damage, and like no clue. By the time we're like 12, we had read through it, so we actually could start playing and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And fast forward, I'm in high school and stuff, and we're in science class, and they're doing all these things, with herbivores, carnivores, ecosystems, all this stuff. And my friends and I are just like, oh yeah, that'd be this. Oh yeah, that'd be this. Oh yeah, that'd be this. And our science teacher stops for a second and goes, what the heck? Like, why do you guys know all this stuff? And like in unison, we're like, Dungeons and Dragons. Like, well, when you have a monster, it tells you like its whole ecosystem and the biome it lives in and all this stuff and blah blah blah. And the teacher was just like, what the heck? This is crazy.
Yeah.
So I mean, anytime you can get games because you're so engaged and you so want to do it, it increases some skill. It doesn't matter what game it is. Some skill will go up.
Yeah.
And so math, reading, whatever. So
yeah, it's awesome, and that's what I mean. Just think, one of these days, people are going to start talking about that with your games, and they're going to be like, oh, yeah, this game taught me how to do this. This game told...
Hey, remember that thing that was in a bikini, that dude that was in a bikini, like the bearded guy? That really made me want to go out and change genders or something. It's not going to
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Flapjacks and Sasquatches taught me to be an asshole.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what it's going to be between Flapjacks and Sasquatches, Call of Cthulhu. Yeah.
So, saying Flapjacks teaches to be an asshole. So after we played Witch Slap with my cousins, we played Flapjacks, right? I was like, you guys want to play Flap? And my daughter's boyfriend sat in with this one too, and I said, now, do you guys want the just how to play it, or do you want like the demo spiel? And they're like, the demo spiel. So I give them the full on, like, this is how I do it at cons and stuff. And we start playing, we're playing everything, and I'm using all the same jokes we use when we demo, and it gets to a point where my cousin's girlfriend, the British girl, says, can I play this? And she has Sasquatch mating season. And I know you guys know, but for your listeners, it allows you to like make someone lose their turn, steal their tree, and then chop on it like it's yours. And she goes, can I play this on someone? And I said, yep. And I'm going to tell you right now, look, I'm even going to give you my business partner spiel when this card comes out. I said, look, you can take Chris, her husband, you can take his tree because he's winning, and then bring it over here and you have one chop left and you get 5 points. That's the smart play. I said, look, you can take Cody, who's my daughter's boyfriend, you can take his tree. He's got an 8-point tree. You need to get 3 chops. It's going to get you the most points. That's the greedy play. I said, or you can take my tree. I have no trees chopped down. Other people are like 12, 13, 14 points. But if you steal mine, it still needs 2 chops. And I still then don't have a tree chopped down probably till the end of the game. That's the funny move. And she goes, oh, okay. And all of a sudden she starts reaching out and she goes, I'm going to take yours. I was like, are you serious? That's what John would say. Like, you're seriously going to do that? And she goes, oh, yeah, I think so. I was like, you limey bastard. I believe it. Sure enough, she took my tree. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, see, that game just brings out the best asshole in everybody.
Right?
Yeah.
That's why it's fun.
The whole story. I texted him the whole story, and his response was, oh, I thought the Brits had a dry humor.
Of course she did.
So.
Oh, that's great. That is
now,
great.
I have a bone to pick with you, sir.
What's
this? Homecoming is the second best Spider-Man. Crap that you were talking about a couple episodes back there. Huh? Like, you could say the Maguire thing is nostalgic, and it did the first like Spider-Man, and it got up on the screen, but there's no comparison on how good they are.
And I believe that's what I ended up saying. If you would have listened to the whole podcast instead of just like turning it off.
You kept going one or two.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. Like the first Tobey Maguire, the Sam Raimi. I really go with the Sam Raimi, over Tobey Maguire. But Sam Raimi made that Spider-Man. That is a Spider-Man. Like, that's always going to have a spot, like, for me, just because that was the movie, in my opinion, that was the movie that started all of this. I know Iron Man was really the first Marvel movie. Huh?
I was going to say, wait a minute, Iron Man?
Yeah, well, Iron Man... Yeah, but Spider-Man came out before Iron Man, so... It's the one that showed that comic book movies can really be good, and then after that, Spider-Man just kind of like fell off the face of the earth
because they just kept redoing the stupid.
Yeah. And I will say, what they did with Homecoming, that was by far and away the best storytelling of all of them. Like, it was its own story. It took ideas and concepts from the comic books, but then told its own story. There's no comic book that tells that story, and I think that's what makes that one so good.
Here's my question to you. After watching, what's his name play the Vulture?
Keaton? Michael Keaton?
Watching Keaton play the Vulture, do you not want to see like a Batman Beyond where he plays the old Batman?
Yes.
Like, walking him through it?
Hell yes.
That'd be awesome.
Absolutely, I do.
I'm not spoiling anything. I watched this movie and watched him play the Vulture and went, why the fuck is no one giving him a job?
Yeah.
Like why is he not in everything?
Oh, he's incredible. And
Like
that's the thing. He's always been an amazing actor. Like he is just flat out incredible, and I don't know why. I think it's just because he doesn't have to do anything anymore cuz he makes so
right,
much damn money.
right, right. He probably took time off for family and all that. But literally, like I watched this and I was like Keaton, huh? And then I started thinking back, like I was like, man, I really like Mr. Mom and Multiplicity, and I really like that the car one Gung Ho. And then I was like, there's one where he plays like this tenant, and they try to get him kicked out, and he starts doing stuff to make sure that he can stay in their house longer. You guys ever seen that? It's like Pacific Heights or something like that.
I didn't see that.
Uh-uh.
Oh, amazing! So this couple owns a house, and they rent out a room, like it's kind of a duplex, and they rent him a room, and he just doesn't pay them. And then he like wage them, and then he starts putting like cockroaches in their vents and stuff. Be like, well, there's bugs. I mean, I'm not paying if there's like just all this stuff. And he's just horrid, and he's just doing all this, and he plays just the most evil person, and he's amazing at it. So, like I said, I just started thinking back through all his stuff, and I was like, why the heck doesn't he get more jobs?
Yeah.
Like he's doing everything.
Yeah. Yeah, he could. And I think you're right. I mean, DC would be stupid not to. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know that we'll ever see Batman Beyond on the big screen, but I could see us getting an animated movie of that, and even Michael Keaton playing the old Batman in that would be
Right.
cool too. So
I just like just because he was Batman.
yeah,
To flash forward to that would be amazing.
yeah, that would be cool. I would be all in for that. I'd buy in. So well, what other big, while we're on this movie kick, what other big movies have you watched that you really enjoyed? I mean, we always end up getting into this after we stop recording, so we might as well do it now.
Guardians is my favorite movie of the summer, or
Oh, yeah.
kind of. Guardians Volume 2. I just freaking loved. I was so happy with it. Like, and I know there are people out there that are like, "Oh, Guardians of the Galaxy 1 is so much better. The story, blah blah blah." I tell those people you're crazy. Like, I really like the story in this, and I'm gonna tell you right now, it was funnier than most comedies I've seen.
I would agree
Like,
with that.
harder-
I think comedies have kind of fallen off. I mean, I think finding that real sense of comedic timing is
Right.
people have gone to that slapstick stuff almost, and it's
Drop
not
it off,
as
stop.
funny. Yeah.
Yeah, let's just swear nonstop and show something like just that makes you go, "Oh my god, I can't believe they did that."
Yeah.
Whereas like Guardians, like it was funny. Like my favorite line, because so in my social emotional class, right, one of the things I talk about is communication. Okay, and one of the things I talk about in communication is we could be saying the same things, but because we say it differently, we don't really understand each other, right? And one of the examples I use is I put a picture of a raccoon up there and I go, "So what is this?" And all the kids are like, "Raccoon." And when I hit the space bar, it says "Trash Panda" above it, right? That's all that my own personal kids call raccoons trash pandas. Anytime my son has a pair of pajamas that have a raccoon on it, I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, trash panda tonight." He's like, "Yup." Like, so when that came up in the movie, and he was like, "You trash panda," he's like, "What? What is that? Is that bad?" And when he turns, he goes, "Oh, it's way worse." I was laughing so hard. My daughter sitting next to me goes, "Oh my god, he said trash panda!" Oh,
That's
amazing.
awesome. That is awesome. I got
So-
dogs behind me.
My 13-year-old will tell you that Wonder Woman was the best movie of the year. She loved it. So
I think
and
Kip would say
it's
that
great.
too.
it was great, but I like Guardians better, and she likes Wonder Woman better, and that's fine.
Yeah,
So, it was really good.
I haven't seen. I still haven't seen Wonder Woman. It's on my list. I just haven't seen it yet. But
John,
it's,
go slap him.
He will see Wonder Woman probably about this time next year.
no, I'll see it before then because it comes out. I believe it comes out on DVD here really soon, and I'll see it. So that's usually what happens. I don't make it to the theaters because, like I said, I'm not home enough to be able to go to the theaters, or I don't have enough time. So I end up waiting until it comes out on DVD and then catching it that way. So
So we actually we actually in St. Cloud here have a theater. We have a Marcus Theater, and on Thursday nights it's education night. So if you're a student or faculty in any school, kindergarten through college, you get in for $5.
Oh,
Like,
nice.
Nice.
$5 for a ticket. And if you go, like if you order, like if you get your tickets online, you just, hey, I'm a teacher. You show up, you have to show your ID, but you can buy like the 3 or 4 or 5 tickets you need, right? All at that discount.
Yeah.
So my kids and I go Thursday nights when one of these movies come out for $5, and it's opening, right? Because like opening night's now Thursday at like 7.
Yeah.
So we'll order them like right when they're on sale, get them for $5, and be like $15. We got to see the best movie of the summer.
Yeah,
So-
see, I need one of those. I could probably make more time if I had something where I wasn't
Right.
spending 15
And-
bucks a damn ticket.
They also have Tuesday nights they have just $5 movie nights, right?
Yeah,
But it's so packed there because it's anybody, right? So parents are all taking their kids, and
yeah,
$5. When it's educator night, kids could still go. Like high school kids could go and stuff, but they don't because they all go Tuesday with their parents, right? So
right.
they're like dead. So it's for us, it's like beautiful.
Even better. So the last movie that we went and saw in the theater, we went and saw Despicable Me 3.
How was it?
It was okay.
Ah.
I mean, it had some funny moments. I think I was more disappointed that the Minions weren't quite as funny as they've been in the past. But I think there's only so much you can do when they're not the main focus
And when they don't
of the
actually
movie.
talk.
Yeah, well, yeah, there's that too. But it was okay, but it was kind of that same thing. It's like we went at like at 12:45 or something in the afternoon on a Saturday. It was like one of those, like, we jammed it in. We were like,
Right.
we're not doing anything for this like small section of the day. Let's go see
Right.
a movie. And so we took the kids. The kids wanted to see that movie, so we went and we could take both kids. I don't think my youngest one would sit through Spider-Man no matter how much I wanted him to. And so we went. They wanted to go see that. We went in there, and when we left there, it reminded me, oh hell, by the time I sat down and before the movie had even started, when it started going to the previews, it reminded me why I hate movie theaters. And it wasn't normally, okay, kids movie, you expect little kids to be loud and
Right.
obnoxious and to have problems. I expected that in those movies.
Right.
I didn't expect the parents to be the problem on their phone or doing the. It's like, you're just teaching your kids to be a jackass. Like,
Yeah.
put your shit up, watch the
Right.
damn movie, or don't be in here. Like,
Right.
I was more annoyed with the parents that would talk through the movie, or like do you not know how to discipline your kid without making
Right.
a noise? Like, because I'm pretty sure I just have to look at my kids and like that stare
Right.
down, and they'll just like sit up straight, because they know if they don't, then I'm gonna beat their ass.
So for me, the older two, the 17 and 13-year-old, like we'll go to the opening night of those movies. And opening, like if you go to opening night of like a superhero movie, like there is no like someone screwing around on their phone, right? Everyone's there to see it, right?
Right.
And I think if someone did pull out their phone, the whole place would kill them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It'd be like, oh no, you need to leave.
Right.
So on
Mutiny.
that night, I took the younger two to see Captain Underpants. It was like, because I'm a teacher, so I'm off in the summer.
Right.
And I was like, you two, like we never go to go see movies, and we give them gift cards like as one of their Christmas present. Like they get X number of dollars to go to the theater, so they can go like, hey, I just want to go see a movie. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. You got a card. If you still got money on it, let's go, right?
Right.
And so I took them to see Captain Underpants, and I saw the first 15 minutes, and then I saw the back of my eyelids for like the next 20. I was tired, and I was just like,
At least you didn't start snoring.
no. But I kind of woke up, and I was like, and Ben was sitting on my lap, and he was just like all into the movie and stuff. And then he starts laughing, and I was like, oh,
What's going on?
it was not a great movie, in my opinion. He loved it, but
Yeah, well, and I mean, some of those kids' movies, they're not really, and that's the thing. Like Despicable Me, the the third one, like, I wasn't a huge fan of it, but when we left, both my kids were like, "Oh, that was great! Like, we love that movie. That was a great movie." Like, then that's what it's there for. Like, that's what it was written for. It was written for those kids to enjoy it, not
Yep.
me. So,
Yeah, both my kids like Captain Underpants, so hey, it worked, and I got a little nap in.
yeah, there you go.
It's a win-win.
It was.
All right, well, we have gone on long enough. We have got to put a cut in here. It's like I'm doing the fucking Let's Play. Sorry. We're gonna have to end it here. I do have to throw out there. I let Bill know this before we recorded, but Kip probably doesn't know this. This is episode 183. The first time Prolific Games was on Geekvice was episode 15. That is how long we have that it has been. I mean, we have you guys on, like, it's been too long this time, because I want to say that it's probably been almost 100 episodes since we've had you on before, or since the last time.
That's crazy.
It is.
You guys kind of picked up the pace.
Yeah, we figured it out. Like, we're approaching our 4-year mark, and we've only missed like 20 episodes or something like that.
I got to tell you one more thing before you sign off, though.
All right.
So I get things like my Google Calendar is full. Like my wife uses mine for everybody, right? And so it shows up on my phone anytime something's going. Like kid has a dentist appointment. My wife has something. Ding, 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 and I look, you know.
Yep.
And a while back, my phone dings, and I went, "Oh, someone invited me to a game day at a pub. Oh, I should go see if I can go to that." And I go down, and I'm like, "Nope, that's in Kansas City. I'm not going to that."
Nope. Well, hey, I threw it out there just in case. Just in case.
Like, seriously though, it was like on a weekend where I didn't have anything, and I was like, "Man, I should go to that." No, I shouldn't. That's right.
That's a little bit of a drive for you. I sent it to both you and John, and I think John actually replied back to me. He's like, "Really? I would love to. Not gonna make it." Like, yeah. Like what? You got a softball game that weekend or something?
Just so you guys know, if anyone like personally does something to on my Facebook, it goes instantly to my phone. So like, it gives me those reminders. So
yeah. Well, then I'm gonna make sure that I'm just gonna invite you to everything that we do. Just make your phone blow up constantly. I'll tag you in everything. So how about that?
There you go. Like, I got a birthday party today. Where am I going?
So, Bill, where can everybody find you if they want to track down Prolific Games? What's the easiest and best way for them to find you?
If you want to get a hold of John, go through Facebook, Prolific Games. If you want to get a hold of me, go through Twitter, which is Prolific Games. And if you want to just send us a long email, you can go prolificgames@gmail.com, and we respond to everything. That goes to both of us. We both check it. Sometimes you get 2 responses if you send it there. But
there you go. There you go. Be sure, everybody, to go check out Bill and Prolific Games. And if you don't have a copy of Witch Slapped, you need to go check out your local game shop, because they probably have it. And I'm sure they'll let you play it there, too. I bet you they got some demo ones out there that they've got open.
If they don't have it, tell them to order it, because they could order it.
That's right. That is right. Well, thank you, Bill, for joining us. It's always fun having you on here. We always go way too long with you on here, and we probably will stop recording here and talk for another hour or so. It's always fun hanging out with you. Guys, you can also go check out our blog. Go check out geekvice.blogspot.com. You can follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/geekvice. You can follow us on Twitter. That man's at Kip Killigan. I'm at Geekvice. And then you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, tiny.cc/geekvice. We'll have new Let's Plays coming up this week. And, of course, you can always reach us by email at geekvice@gmail.com. Thanks, everyone, for listening to our ramblings, and we will see you next time.
Later.
This podcast is part of the Podcast Arcade Network.
Stop.